Horror Coast to Coast is a movie review podcast featuring strong language, horror film spoilers, and discussions of violence, gore, and disturbing subject matter. Listener discretion is advised.
Horror Coast to Coast.
Welcome to Horror Coast to Coast, where we review horror movies from opposite sides of the continental U.S. Waiting for Brendan Fraser to save me from this movie in Massachusetts. I'm Brian.
And in California, the power of Christ compelling me to remember to clip my toenails. I'm Michelle.
This week we watched Lee Cronin's The Mummy from 2026.
The young daughter of a journalist disappears into the desert without a trace. 8 years later, the broken family is shocked when she's returned to them.
Okay.
Yeah, basically.
So we start with like 50 production cards. We got New Line, Discovery, Warner, Atomic Monsters, and Blumhouse.
So many people willingly attaching their names to this movie. Unbelievable.
All the other Mummy movies are all Universal, right? And then this one is just everyone but Universal.
Yeah, maybe. Oh my gosh, yeah. So many. I was like, okay, I haven't heard good things, but maybe they were wrong because, this many big voices can't be off base.
But
Ugh.
this was your recommendation, wasn't it?
Yeah, because somebody watched it and they were like, I don't know what, but it's supposed to be a reimagining. And of course, that pulled me in, a reimagining, right? I don't know why. And I saw it again, too, when I was looking for the movie, that it was like this reimagining of the Mummy franchise. So I thought it's got to be at least, I don't know, something along the same vein. But yeah, I was lied to, not by the person who told me, but by everything else.
Well, from what I gather about this franchise is that every new installment is basically completely different from the last. Like, you
Yeah.
get the Brendan Fraser ones like a big adventure, and then I guess they tried to do something with Tom Cruise a few years ago that was like in a
Oh,
similar vein.
so I saw the Tom Cruise movie and I actually didn't mind it, but I didn't realize that that was supposed to be a reimagining of this franchise again. I mean, it doesn't make any sense because they had The Mummy, The Mummy 2, and The Scorpion King, I think, are the three originals. At least the ones relating to the Brendan Fraser movies.
There was a very poorly received third one with Brendan Fraser.
Oh, there was. Okay, I didn't know that. I thought it was just
Yeah,
the
I've
Scorpion
never
King,
seen
which
it, and I've never seen The Scorpion King, but I loved Mummy 1 and 2 as a kid.
yeah, I liked the first two as well. So I don't understand why there's this urge to call something a reimagining when it's not even the same characters, right? Like I get it,
Yeah.
reimagining Spider-Man 50 fucking times at least is using the characters from the comic
Yeah,
or the characters like from the universe. But
it's
like
not
there's
even
not
like
even
emo tap.
yeah, exactly. And you know what? I'm going to say it because it needs to be said. There's not even a fucking mummy in the movie.
Yeah. So, I'm guessing this is your first Lee Cronin movie, right?
Yes.
So I saw Evil Dead Rise, and it's basically the same movie.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
Okay, that makes sense that you say that though, because the person who saw this movie who was like, just go see it, she said it was like The Exorcist crossed
Yeah.
with Evil Dead. And I was like, I totally see The Exorcist, but I am not that familiar with the Evil Dead. So I was like, I guess, okay.
Yeah,
But
crossed with
you're
Lee
not the only
Cronin's
one.
Evil Dead, not
Yeah, you're not the
regular
only one who
Evil
thinks
Dead.
that. But okay, we open with a family driving down a road in a desert.
Yeah, they're rocking out, and then mom turns off the radio and like scowls at them and says
Yeah,
she has
but
a
it's really
headache.
mean. It's
And
not
then,
even like, oh guys, this is bothering me. It's like,
yeah,
I hate you all. and I have a
Yeah, she just gives them a look of
yeah.
contempt, and then like the dad's winking at the daughter or whatever back there, and
The kids definitely needed that because she was like, "I have a
yeah,
headache. I hate you all." It was awful.
yeah. So they get home, and the little girl screams because her bird is just gushing blood, and then mom picks it up and just like crushes it in her
Ugh,
hands in front of
yeah.
them, and like throws it on the ground. Like what the fuck?
Yeah, and then she and dad have this, like, knowing look exchanged, like something's happening, but it was weird because they didn't feel all that connected anyway, and there was no real explanation for why she was acting this way. It was, I guess, supposed to establish her
Yeah,
character, but that didn't even feel consistent with her
yeah.
character, but whatever.
So they like go downstairs and they got a sarcophagus and they're checking on the mummy and he asks, "Is it awake?" And she's like, "No." And then it just gets up and like somehow like impales his face with the chains that were supposed to keep the sarcophagus
Yeah.
closed
And
and just like
they
kills him.
dwell on that shot of that fork thing through his face. Like, that shot
Yeah.
was there for way, way too long. It was like they put the special effects into this shot and they really needed you to make sure you saw it. It was gruesome though, not even like in an impressive way. I was just like, stop this.
I mean, that's kind of from the two movies I've seen is kind of his whole shtick is just like linger on the
Yeah,
nasty
okay.
gore. So that's our cold open basically. And then we cut to a new family. We got the dad, Charlie, and he's teaching his daughter, Katie, Morse code for Girl Scouts. He's also got a son named Seb, and his wife's name
Right.
is
And we
Larissa.
learned that he's a journalist, and in the scene,
Yeah,
you see him on TV giving a story about something.
and I did not learn he was a journalist in this scene because this seems like it's like a political campaign, like he's running for Congress or something. This doesn't seem like it
Oh.
didn't feel like journalism to me. It just felt like he was like make almost like a PSA or like a campaign
Oh,
ad. So
that's
I didn't even realize he was a journalist
that is
yet.
how he was delivering it, I think, for sure. I just happened to catch the content, and he was just talking about businesses and like negotiations falling through and people needing access to water sources and stuff like that. It felt
Yeah, but
like,
I thought the context was like, and I'm gonna do something about it. Vote for me.
oh, oh. That was his
Because it
tone.
shuts off the daughter shuts it off before we get to the end. So I figured the end was like,
And vote for
yeah,
me.
vote for Charlie for Congress.
That's very funny. Yeah, and this entire scene, you actually don't even know where they are. Not
Yeah.
until the dad gets a phone call and the person on the other end says, "How's Cairo?" So that was kind of annoying because I was like, "Ugh, okay, we didn't even know where the first scene took place, except there was a pyramid and there was the sarcophagus, and so we're like, okay, insert stereotypes, we're in Egypt. But then we
Yeah.
cut to an American family and we're like, okay, I guess we're back in the USA. No, we're in Cairo, we're still in Egypt.
Yep. Oh, and his son's making fun of him for talking with his hands
Mm.
too much. And then he goes to his wife. He's like, "Do I talk with my hands too much?" He's like, "Yeah, but it's like one of your ticks, right?" He's like, "What? My ticks?" And she's like, your trademark." And I'm like, "How do you conflate those two
I mean,
things?"
I think it might have been a language thing because like she's like
Yeah, I guess
she's
so.
Latina or she might be Spanish. I've seen this actress somewhere before, and I think she might be from Spain or maybe another Latino country or Latin country. But yeah, either way, in this part, you also learn that she's pregnant with their third child. And she's like
Yeah.
a nurse or some kind of healthcare provider because she's in scrubs, and then she goes to work.
Yeah, and then the son throws the doll of the daughter Katie off the roof and like it falls to pieces and she gets
Hey.
really mad because the dad doesn't like yell at him or anything. And she's like, he calls her Butterfly. She's like, don't call me Butterfly. I hate both of you right now. And she like storms up to her room. And then she sneaks out and she talks to like this lady at the fence. And she's looking for Layla, but she's like, Layla couldn't be here today. I'm her mom. And she gives her candy. And then she does like a trick with a rose. And meanwhile, the dad's on the phone with the mom and he's like, did you give her candy? Like, a lot of candy? It's like, obviously not. Obviously, mom didn't sneak her like a billion candy bars.
And then he asks the brother.
Yeah, and the brother's like, she only shares if I promise not to tell. And he's like, tell what? He's like, about the lady who's like giving her candy behind the fence.
Which doesn't make sense because she introduces herself to Katie as Layla's mom. So who was giving her the candy?
Yeah.
I assume it's supposed to have been that lady, but maybe it was Layla.
Yeah, I guess it was Layla doing
Yeah.
her bidding.
Well,
So she says, are you ready for my final trick? And she gives her an apple. And she's like, I'm sorry. And she's like, for what? And then a beetle shoots out of the apple and crawls into her mouth.
yeah. And then she like falls to the ground and it looks like she's gagging and can't speak. And that thing that she
Yeah.
gives her, it looks like an apple, and I thought it was an apple, and it doesn't even really matter, except that later on it becomes a connection. But it's a nectarine.
Oh, okay. So the dad's now like running to the fence because he knows, but he's too late. So he's like running through town, screaming for his daughter. And then like it's like an air raid siren, I guess. Is this to warn of the dust storm?
There's like a sandstorm coming through, and the air raid siren goes off, and so everybody in the town in the immediate area starts scrambling for cover. And he's meanwhile, I was really confused by this scene too, because I was like, it just comes across like you're chasing a woman who's holding her child. I get like what's going on in the scene, but at the same time, this could have easily gone so poorly for him. But anyway, I don't know how else you could have conveyed he's chasing after a woman who's stealing his kid.
So do you think, is this dust storm like part of the whole supernatural thing?
I thought about
like,
that. I thought about that. I was like, I wonder if she did it. Because the lady,
because the timing is impeccable.
Yeah, it's really good timing. But she introduces herself as a magician. So I'm wondering if it means that she can do things like this, like create cover for herself. I definitely had that thought when it was happening. So maybe.
So she escapes, and then we're introduced to the detective, Dahlia Zaki, and she's like, so she was giving her candy, maybe she was groomed, and her supervisor's like, nah, this dude's fucking lying, it's him.
Yeah.
Like, immediately, no chill, just like, doesn't buy anything he's saying for 1 second.
Even though the mom is there too, like, it doesn't really make any sense.
Yeah.
And then I don't get what happened, but they turn around and it looks like maybe it's like a two-way mirror or something, but there's somebody else behind them watching the interview. And the dad freaks out when he realizes, and then is like, how are you not taking me seriously? But I was like, okay, guy, this is a little bit much. You're in the police station. You're trying to convince them that you are not a suspect. Maybe keep your cool.
Yeah. So I hate this
really
character.
Really did.
I think he's so like a nothing character, and the only time he displays any character is when he's being obnoxious, like now.
No, I didn't. I wasn't a fan of him, but I also didn't like the mom. So
Yeah,
I was
didn't
just
either.
like, there's something going on with how this is being portrayed that neither of these characters are likable. You know who I did like? I liked the brother, and he didn't really have many lines, which was like really unfortunate. I was like, he's actually the better character, and he had very few lines.
Yeah, I did not like the parents at all.
Yeah. So the police don't take them seriously, and I think that's the end of it, right? Like they just
then we just skip 8 years.
We just skip 8 years, and they live in New Mexico. Maybe they're back in the U.S.
Yeah, Albuquerque or
Yeah.
something.
So they're in New Mexico, and they live with Laurie is the mom.
Yeah,
And
and
her
her
mom.
mom is Carmen Santiago,
No way.
which sounds a whole lot like Carmen Sandiego to
Is that
me.
the actress's name or the character's name?
That's what the character is credited as.
That's
Where
very
in the
funny.
world is Carmen Santiago?
Okay. Wow, that's funny.
And the mom has a pixie cut now, and she looks so much like the waitress from It's Always Sunny to me.
Yeah, she kind of did look like the waitress. I actually didn't even think about that. Like, I don't think it's a strong resemblance, but I absolutely see it. And yeah, and so you see that they've had the third child, who's now a little girl named Maud. The brother is like
Yeah.
what, 17 or something, 16 or 17,
Yeah.
and they live with their very religious grandmother. And through the brother, we learn that they never take trips anymore.
Yeah. Maudie's like, have I ever been on vacation?
Yeah.
And then Seb is like, nothing's gonna happen. I'm not Katie. And it's like,
Yeah,
Jesus,
but like you
kid.
could see his
Like out of
but you could see
nowhere.
his frustration, because it's like this unspoken thing of like, we're not letting you do this, because it was like a class trip to go abroad. And they were like, it's not happening, it's not possible, which is like, kind of, what do you mean it's not possible? What you mean is, we don't want to take the risk, which is understandable, but the way they frame it to him is, no, it's not possible, which is bullshit when you're a teenager.
Yeah.
Right? What the fuck do you mean it's not possible? Like, spit it out. And so when you get in that situation and you're in that mind frame, you're like, you don't want to say it, so I'll say it. It's because you think what happened to her is going to happen to me. It's not going to happen to me because I'm not her, which is faulty logic to begin with, but it's how he expressed it. And I don't know. Yeah, he exploded, but I felt like his explosion was appropriate for his age and the situation.
Yeah. So next we cut to like a young man fixing up his bicycle, and then behind him a plane just vertically drops.
Drops from the sky.
And then he goes to examine it, and there's like a coffin just there.
Standing
upright, yeah.
Yeah, like a black seamless coffin, just standing upright, very like pristine looking, and it looks like a statue in the middle of the woods.
Yeah.
So they take it to the authorities.
Yeah. And so some archaeologists are examining it, and they're doing so like in the dark. Like they're taking pictures of it, but it's like there's no lights on in this room. They're just examining it. It's like, turn some fucking lights on.
Yeah, and they're like making notes.
Because he's like, take a picture of this. I'm like, the picture's gonna come out like shit when you're just using a flash in the dark. Right? That's no way to take a picture of this sarcophagus.
Yeah, but they open it and they see there is what looks like a mummy on the inside, and so they start to process it like it's a mummy.
He's like taking off bandages, and then a beetle comes out of its mouth, and then it starts like kicking and screaming.
Right. And meanwhile, the family's like driving somewhere back in New Mexico.
Yeah.
And they get
They're
a call.
playing a game called Rat Frog or Rat or Frog, where everyone looks like either a rat or a frog.
Yeah, I really hate shit like this, where they try to insert some like normal seeming activity. Like, everybody does this, don't they? And they pick something that no one has ever freaking done and then make it seem like it's a normal thing. Like, why? Just play I Spy. Calm down.
I thought it was pretty funny.
I guess.
But yeah, they get a call, and Katie is alive, and they go, and they're like, we have to warn you, what you're about to see is terrifying.
Yeah. And they say that she's sedated.
Yeah.
But when they open the door, she's sitting straight up in the bed. So I didn't really get that. But yeah, they're like, we've sedated her, but she's in really bad shape. She's been exposed to the elements for a very long time. Like,
but her vitals
really
are amazing.
Yeah, but her heart rate's great. Her blood pressure's great. She's in really good shape otherwise. But she looks like
Yeah.
hell. She looks terrible. Her hands are all like they look like petrified.
Yeah.
Her fingers look gnarled and petrified, and so do her feet, and she just looks like unrecognizable as a person. A
And
little
I
bit.
would have thought the hospital would try to take care of some of these things, like the overgrown, gnarled fingernails and stuff. Like
Yeah.
they would trim it and clean her up, but no, they just hand her over to her parents looking like a fucking mummy.
Yeah. And the one thing I was kind of curious about that didn't get answered at all is how they were able to connect this thing to their daughter. Like a throwaway line could have resolved it. Like, oh, we had samples of Katie's hair and we just happened to know that she was around the same age as this person and we compared it. Like, it's just something. Like some
Yeah.
tiny resolution to how you connected this individual that doesn't look anything
Well,
like the girl who went missing.
when I was
To the
in
girl who
middle
went missing.
school, they took all of our fingerprints in case like kids went missing, so they could have easily just had Katie's fingerprints on file.
Yeah, but that's what I mean.
But
That's a
yeah,
throwaway line.
yeah.
We compared the fingerprints and it's your daughter. They didn't even say that. They were just like, we found your kid. Come get her. Fly to Egypt.
Oh, and
Yeah.
here they say that he's like, why was she in a sarcophagus? And she's like, they turn a blind eye to the illegal trade of artifacts. I'm like, why? Why would they do that? That sounds like it would raise way more suspicion to ship it in
Yeah.
a priceless ancient Egyptian sarcophagus. Like, what are you talking
Well,
about?
I think what the point of that was, and it actually did make sense, and I wouldn't be surprised if it was rooted in truth, is that illegal goods are hidden in things that would otherwise contain just boring artifacts. So no one is going to care about stealing like a 3,000-year-old vase that needs to get dated. But if you replace it with like drugs or something, it can go undetected. That's kind of what I got from that.
Okay.
I was very surprised when she said human trafficking. I was like, so this is a thing. Like live people are put in coffins and shipped?
Apparently.
Like literally trafficked? That's crazy. But okay. Like I said, I wouldn't be surprised if that was rooted in truth.
So they take her home and they like drag her wheelchair up the stairs backwards. And I'm thinking like, couldn't you carry her? Wouldn't that be a lot easier and safer?
Yeah. Literally nothing they do from the point they bring her home makes any sense. Nothing they do. This is where I was like, this is so stupid. I can't even with this anymore. But yeah, they bring her home and she looks like there's clearly something wrong with her. And
Yeah.
they're like, she just needs to be taken care of. I'm like, yeah, maybe. She also needs an exfoliant. Like, what is happening?
Yeah. Like I said, they handed her over looking like a fucking mummy.
Yeah.
So they're all gathered around her, and Maudie's like, "Hi, I'm your sister Maudie. I heard you like Taylor Swift. Let's listen to the new Taylor Swift." And then, meanwhile, Grandma is like praying over her.
Yeah.
And so she turns her attention to Grandma and then headbutts her.
Yep. Clocks are good. Her nose is messed up.
And then we just have a full-on The Exorcist scene. Like, it's all your Exorcist tropes.
It was completely from The Exorcist what happens. She's writhing. She's floating off the bed. I mean, it's bad. And they think nothing of it. This is not a red flag to them. Like, I was like, wait, so the logical conclusion here is to take her to a doctor, like take her to a doctor in the United States, right? Take her to a doctor, get a second opinion, bring in a psychologist, like the whole 9 yards. There's like a rubric for this kind of thing. And it was not followed at all. This family was just like, we can take care of this. But meanwhile, they were just like wide-eyed and staring and not making any attempts to try to solve this problem.
Yeah. They move past that and they go to bed.
Yeah.
And then the kids are awoken by like strange sounds in the walls. And so they go and they find her and she's all like creepy in a crawl space eating scorpions.
Yeah. So they drag her out of the crawl space and like force her to puke up the scorpion.
Yeah.
Which is Okay, I guess they don't want her to be poisoned, but like, ugh.
Yeah. And then they decide to take care of those nails. They give her a
Oh,
pedicure.
yeah, yeah.
And it doesn't go well.
Oh my God. So I already knew something gross was going to happen, but this is not the gross thing that I thought was going to happen. So kudos to them for really surprising me. So yeah, so grandma and mom decide like we need to clean her up. Let's get this exfoliant happening. Let's get some nails clipped. Even the grandmother's like, we could dye this hair. Like the whole 9 yards, right? And then mom is like, okay, I'm gonna get started on these nails. And so she tries to clip one, and it like the first time she does it, it's almost like a rock or sand or like a natural element, not nail material. It kind of like crumbles a little bit. And then she does it again, but she can't get her nail clipper through it. And I don't know how this happens. I can't explain the physics behind it, but she pulls the nail straight up and it goes up her foot, up her leg, and pulls up an entire strip of skin, probably like way up to her knee. It was disgusting. And the blood spurts and ugh.
Have you ever seen that meme where it's like you have a hangnail on your finger and you pull it and it just keeps going and going and going?
No, that sounds horrible. That sounds like a cursed image.
It's
I
an
can't even think of that.
extremely cursed image, and that's what
I
I
can't
thought
even think
of. It's
about
just like,
that. Oh
oh,
no.
well, you saw way worse. Like that, I'm talking about like a drawing of it, and you saw like
Yeah.
the super special effects version of that.
Okay, so here's the thing. I saw her clip the second nail because I was expecting something to happen the first time and it didn't. So I was like, okay, it's definitely
Well,
gonna
the
happen here.
first time it lands, like the toenail flies up and lands on her lip.
Is that what that was?
Yeah.
Oh, I thought she clips it and it just like crumbles like a rock.
No,
Interesting.
I'm pretty sure she like had such a tough time with it that it went flying and landed on her lip.
Okay. Well, then I totally misinterpreted that part. But the second time when she's struggling and struggling, like it kind of lingers on that for a minute. And I was like, something disgusting is about to happen. And so, right as she responded, I like kind of covered my eyes. And then I opened my eyes and saw the rest of the strip coming up.
Oh,
And so I was like, oh, that's gross. So I didn't see the actual like inertia of it happening.
oh, it was so
Um,
nasty. And it's like,
yeah, I'm sure. I saw the blood spurt and I saw the rest of the strip of the skin come off.
and it looked like so much like the real, like super thin skin of like 100-year-old woman.
Oh, yeah. And then she gets up and runs away.
Oh yeah, and then her dad finds her and she's like, I don't know what she's doing, like stabbing away at that spot where the flesh came off.
It looks like she's like scratching underneath it with some kind of implement, but it looks really awful because she's bleeding and she's just
Yeah.
mutilating her leg. That was gross, and I did not look away for that because I was not expecting it. He just walks in and it pans over, and this is what she's doing. I thought he was gonna find her shoveling scorpions in her mouth.
Yeah.
But no, he finds her trying to like cut off, like dig something out of her leg. So then they bring her back. At no point do they strap her down, though. I was surprised about that. But they put her back in the wheelchair and bandage up her leg, and they're like, "This is okay. This is okay."
Well, then dad's like, we have to think about finding a place for her. Like, we can't protect her from herself. And
Yeah,
then the mom, like, freaks out about that. And she's like,
yeah,
you're living in the past. You want to solve what happened like 8 years ago, but I can save her. And he's saying, like, you've always blamed me for that. And she's like, we can save her. We just need to be compassionate. And then we immediately, like, cut to her being like, say something, say anything, screaming
yeah,
in her
yeah,
face. And then
yeah.
Katie spits in her face.
Yeah. So that whole scene, I was like, this is probably the only part of the movie where I was kind of siding with the dad. Because the dad is like, okay, this is beyond our ability
Yeah,
to
he's
care
clearly
for
right
her.
here.
Yeah, he's clearly correct. You're beyond your capabilities. And it's not necessarily like the mom is taking it as though this just needs some mothering. And
Yeah.
like, you don't think that I can give her the amount of mothering she needs. And it's like, I was hoping he would say this goes beyond you being able to take care of her as her mother. This is now a medical issue. And, maybe she has a medical background, which didn't come through at all in the movie, by the way. I thought if she was wearing scrubs in the first movie, she must have been like a vet tech or something. In the beginning of the movie, she must have been like a vet tech or something.
Yeah. He's the one who was bandaging up her leg.
Yeah. So I was like, this is beyond your capability, because she needs medical intervention, because she needs 24-hour care or somebody monitoring her in a way that you are clearly not. Also a space where she can be away from, little crawl spaces that she can disappear into and stuff like that. It felt like the only real conversation in the whole movie, and it just was reframed as this like little parental dispute, like just this domestic thing. Like they're at each other because of the stress of the situation. But at the same time, I thought, why obscure this conversation by making it she's mad at him and he's mad at her? The root of it is, one parent is recognizing that she has an actual need for outside intervention and the other one is refusing it. It just didn't, it was very not well placed, I think.
Yeah.
But then, so the mom is like, leave us alone. And she goes in the room and closes the door behind her and proceeds to yell in her face.
Yeah. And then the dad notices on like he finds the strip of her skin and it has like writing on it in what looks like kind of like Arabic. And then he takes that to an archaeology professor.
Wait, though, except I was very confused about this. He takes that one strip of skin.
Oh, yeah.
And he peels away each dermal layer.
Yeah, is that what he does?
Paper thin. Yeah, he peels apart the dermal layers in a way that nobody could fucking do. They don't tear. There's he peels them away and they're all perfect. And so he lays them in order.
I was completely baffled by the entire concept. I'm like, what is this?
Yeah. He lays them out until it looks like something. I was like, this is significant, I guess. I couldn't even tell that it was writing. It just looked like markings. But he lays it out and then takes a picture and goes to show the archaeologist. But when he takes it to the archaeologist, he's got like 3 or 4 pages of this. So I don't know how he was able to excise all of these dermal layers and like lay them out perfectly and make it look like it was some kind of like, I don't know, like excavated papyrus or something.
I don't know.
It was wild.
Nothing about this makes sense.
Yeah. And then the archaeologist looks at it and is like, I know what this is. Immediately, right?
Yeah.
He just picks a random archaeologist and he happens to know this extremely rare dead language.
Yeah. He's like, I think it's like Egyptian hieroglyphics. Like, no, this is way older than that.
Yeah.
But of course he knows all about it, so.
Yeah. So he keeps it and is like, I'm going to look into this. And then the dad leaves it with him.
Yeah. And then he hears Katie's clicking her teeth back home and he realizes it's Morse code.
Yeah.
And he writes it down and it's spelling out Layla repeated.
Yeah. And he can't put together what Layla, which I was like, this is really bad.
Wait, what does he know about Layla at this point?
Nothing.
Oh.
But it means that this girl, your daughter, met another kid in your backyard, spent I don't know how many days or weeks hanging out with them, eating all this candy, doing all this thing, and you had no clue. She didn't even talk about like my friend Layla. Nothing. Like I just find that to be insane that she's like 8 or 9 years old. And she meets a friend, and you know nothing about it. Sure, the candy was a secret. Friend,
I think the friend was also a secret.
Yeah, I guess. I mean, I guess the thing is, I think what bugs me is that this is framed like this is a normal thing. Like the kid meets a kid and they become secret friends and that leads to something bad. Like this is a product of poor parenting and people who are just like in their own fucking world, and kids that don't know any better, which is insane because every kid knows like you can't just go around, being friends with people and not telling your parents and talking to adults without talking. Like she goes and talks to that lady instead of being like, give me a second, I'm gonna go call my dad.
Yeah.
It was wild.
Yeah, I mean,
I
it's
was like,
definitely poor parenting involved because, like, how is it every day you don't know where your kid is?
yeah, exactly. Every single day, this girl goes to the backyard and meets another kid. You don't know what she's doing, and you never went back there to check on her, not once. That was what was insane. I was just like, so how do you just seriously, this name doesn't even ring a bell. And he has to go searching and searching and searching. And he finally finds a big old trunk. He goes digging through this big trunk they have of letters that people had sent giving their condolences when she first went missing.
Yeah, and he finds Layla with the last name.
Yeah. And the reason that he connects it is because the picture of the candy is on the cover of her letter.
Oh. And then that night, Maudie hears singing, and it's coming from Katie's room, and she's like, Katie, is that you? And she's like, yeah, I can talk now, too. And then she says, like, oh, you're my favorite. And she's like, how can I be your favorite? We don't know each other. He's like, I want to learn all about you, like how your little piggies taste.
Ugh.
What are we doing?
She sticks her tongue under the door. And let me tell you how fast my kids would have stepped on that tongue and ran. That was so gross and so unnecessary. And the fact that this girl just like stands there after it happens was just crazy. I was like,
well, I don't know. I
what?
think there's a mind control element here, so I don't know how much Maudie can help it.
Yeah, I guess that's true. But it felt like it didn't take effect until she decides to turn around and walk away. And then she's like, oh, she has no control over herself.
Yeah.
She levitates and pulls her to the door, and who knows what the heck she does. Some kind of mind control.
And then the next day, Maudie's in class, and she's like, to the teacher, she's like, I don't think you're a frog. I think you're a rat-faced cunt.
Yeah.
We know that she's possessed.
Yeah, this begins the descent into vulgar kids that I cannot stand. This goes from Black Phone 1 to Black Phone 2 level of vulgarity. And I was just, ugh.
It was bad, yeah.
It was so cringy. So then the dad gets called to come pick them up, and he's like, let's not tell mom because she's all stressed about it. And the girl's just in the back seat kind of grinning.
Yeah.
And while this is happening, grandma goes back in the room and is like, prayer didn't work once, it'll work again. Yeah. And she goes to start praying some more, and hoo-wee.
Yeah, so does she get headbutted again?
I forget exactly how the sequence goes, but I just remember she's in there.
No, wait, she bites. First she bites her, and then she's like, I can make your heart stop. And then she's like, she has a crucifix around her neck, and she's like hanging by that. And then she blows, and then she goes out the window and onto Charlie's windshield. And then
as they pull in.
Yeah, and then Maudie is giggling. And
yeah, she starts giggling.
Charlie has not like reacted appropriately at all to anything Maudie has done since she's been possessed, and he's still not like reacting to her giggling at her grandmother's death.
Yeah.
It's like, I hate how much of a non-character he is. He's so unreactive, and he has like no traits or personality at all.
Yeah, I was very confused here because she is giggling, and that is the big cue, right? Like, okay, something's really wrong with her. And then the grandmother's body slides off of the car, and I guess she was still alive at that point. Yeah. I didn't realize that until she falls off the bottom of the car, and then these quote-unquote coyotes, which were clearly wolves.
Yeah, I have wolves in my note. I didn't hear coyotes, but they're huge.
Yeah, they're wolves, and the family at one point calls them coyotes. And I was like, those aren't fucking coyotes. Coyotes are like a third that size. So they're these wolves that they are calling coyotes descend and rip her
Well,
body apart. And it's
maybe
disgusting.
those wolves are employed helping people cross the border.
Oh man.
See?
Maybe. All I know is
They can be both.
what? Wolves and coyotes?
Yeah.
All right, maybe. Well,
People ride them across the border, so they're wolf coyotes.
yeah, they were certainly big enough to be ridden. So grandma dies, and it's disgusting.
Yeah.
And then her wake is the weirdest, most bizarre scene. Like, first it shows her laying in her coffin, and these two old ladies who seem to have known her when she was alive are standing there talking shit, like in a very
Yeah.
weird way. Like, you know, of course she would look good after dying, or death looks great on her, or something like that. Like, really snarky ass comments. It's very weird.
Yeah,
And
and
so off tone.
it feels like this is supposed to be kind of a comedic thing, but this is like the least comedic movie ever made. So like
Yeah.
like it feels like a mean-spirited movie. It doesn't feel lighthearted at any point. Like the
Right.
beginning of this movie is mostly just kind of sad and depressing. It's like, oh, a kid got
Yeah.
kidnapped and then came back all messed up, and then so yeah, it is very jarring tonally. This weird like shit talking at
Yeah.
her wake.
Yeah. And it's done kind of like you said, in like a comedic way. And it's just so you know,
Yeah.
the word that comes to mind
ain't
is
the monkey.
tasteless.
Yeah.
Yeah. No, the word that comes to mind here is tasteless. And this little exchange felt very tasteless. And that's not the only thing. This entire scene felt very like almost Tim Burton-y, like really strange and like offbeat, and
Yeah,
just crazy
I mean,
things happen.
it's almost like if you put the funeral from the monkey into this movie, but it doesn't fit in this movie.
Yeah. And on top of which, the grandmother dying feels like it would be clear evidence that something is really wrong with Katie.
Yeah.
Right. And that never happens. They also don't notice that this little girl is just spitting her teeth out, which I thought was bizarre. But we get this weird scene where she's sitting there spitting her teeth out, and her mouth is getting bloodier and bloodier. And nobody in the room, this room full of adults, no one notices her.
Yeah.
The mom is sitting on the couch like catatonic because her mom has died, which makes sense. But the dad, the brother, nobody notices that she's just spitting out her teeth. It's so weird and gross.
Yeah, it's just insane how underreacting everyone is to everything up until this point. Like there wouldn't even be a wake because you have like 3 possessed children in your house. It should be like fighting for survival, but we're having this weird like comedic wake thing and not paying attention to our kids spitting blood.
Agree, and I wrote that down. Why would they have the wake at their house? It makes no sense. And you know the thing you were saying before about people not having appropriate responses. Yeah, that brings me back to the monkey. Absolutely. And I don't want it to bring me back to the monkey because it was done intentionally and it was done well.
Yeah.
And I think this is a product of poor planning and poor acting and poor execution. I do not think it's because it's a reflection of, you know, the bizarre nature of death or whatever. But
yeah, exactly.
it was insane. This little girl just walking around with blood in her mouth. And then no one notices. She walks right up to the coffin, and pulls the thread out of the grandmother's mouth. Like, how is this happening?
Yeah.
Yeah. Meanwhile, big sister is peeling her way through the ceiling and like looking down at the whole scene. And I'm like, nobody notices anything that's going on right now. Nobody notices this little girl spitting her teeth out, going up to her grandmother's coffin. No one notices the ceiling is just opening up and the mouth of hell is coming through. Like, what the hell?
Yeah. Like, as far as these parents are concerned, the only problems in their lives are that their mother died and their daughter is sick. Nothing else is going on here. Nothing strange
Nothing else is going
or
on.
evil or supernatural or an imminent threat to our lives is going on. It's just these two tragedies that are totally maybe a little bit related.
Yeah.
It's so
And then
stupid.
I almost have no words for what happens next.
So is this when she like shows up with her grandma's dentures in her mouth?
Yeah, so we see that the reason the girl pulls her the thread holding the grandmother's mouth closed is so that she can take the dentures, and she puts the dentures in her mouth, and it's disgusting because it's all bloody, and it's obviously missized, so it has that like uncanny valley aspect to it. But then Katie comes crawling out of the ceiling, and I don't know how the heck she makes her way across the room and onto the coffin, but she jumps on the coffin and starts like biting through the grandmother's dead body, like chewing on her neck.
Yeah.
At which point the entire coffin falls off of the pedestal. The grandmother's dead body rolls onto the floor. Katie starts licking the embalming fluid off the ground. Meanwhile, a guest pukes in her wine glass as this is happening. I wrote in all caps, very unnecessary. That was out of control disturbing for a movie like this. I like could not even wrap my head around like, why was that there? Why?
Yeah.
Like, I could see that in a movie. I could absolutely see it. Right place, right time. But that was such a slap in the face to anyone watching at that moment. Like, you're expecting reverence for this moment, this woman who died. You're expecting a little bit of creepy things happening. But this was just flat out bonkers.
Yeah. Oh, and meanwhile, Detective Zaki like went and found Layla's mom and shot her. And she found Layla, and Layla had her tongue cut out by her mom because she was gonna tell the truth. And she found out that they were part of an ancient cult that like keeps this ancient mummy buried by offering it live hosts. So
Yeah.
Zaki also shows up now and is like, we have our Katie boss battle, and she shows up and she gets a scorpion force fed down her throat and it sticks its stinger out the other side.
Yeah, like through her trachea, and then somehow she sticks her hand down her throat and pulls it out, which
Yeah.
go her. Yeah. But we see the tape, right? We watch the tape of what happened to Katie. You see exactly what happened to her. They bring her over to the coffin. They hold her up over the previous person who was housing this demon spirit, and the demon spirit gets transferred into her body, at which point they cover her in bandages, lock her in the sarcophagus, and bury it. And the detective explains to them that the thing that was contained in this sarcophagus was meant to be bound. It was not meant to be set free.
Yeah.
And so you're not expressly told that the fact that she's out walking around is an indication that it's stronger because it's not supposed to be walking around, but you get the idea that yeah, it's stronger. And so then the parents maybe seem a little bit concerned at this point. Maybe. I still can't tell. I don't think they ever were.
Yeah, a little bit.
Yeah, it pans back up to Katie's door, and her door has like all of these veins coming out of it. These like really dark black veins.
Yeah.
And they never noticed that.
Yep. So then Katie's like floating, and then she like sprints at them like a horse. Like on all fours. So Zaki like reads the rights through her trach hole, like plugging it up so she can squeeze some words out.
Ugh.
And meanwhile, Charlie's like holding down Katie, and then she like pukes gravity defying black puke into his face.
Yeah.
And they both collapse.
But not before he looks at Zaki and gives her the nod of sacrifice.
Oh yeah, of course. You're gonna have your nod of sacrifice.
Yeah, so she then reads the words that she magically knew because having been a person who is from another country, obviously you can remember words in the language you speak very easily, and it's transferable, right?
Yeah.
The magic foreigner who can just
do anything.
Katie is saved, and Charlie is now hosting the spirit.
Right.
And we get a scene where we see Katie's like fine, and she's playing Chutes and Ladders with her siblings, and it's all happy except Charlie's a mummy locked in the basement.
Yeah. Like chained around the coffin he's in's got chains around it.
Yep.
And he can still communicate through Morse code.
Oh yeah, that's funny. That's
Tells them he loves them.
It's a little like keeping Ed in the garden shed.
Yeah.
Then Zaki gets a call, and it's Laurie, and she's like, "We need to talk about Charlie." And she's like, "Okay, I'm in."
Yeah.
And so we cut to the mother of Layla is in the hospital after being shot, and they like inject her with something, and then they transfer Charlie's demon into him.
They
wheel
him in.
Charlie in and transfer the demon. The end.
Yeah.
Everyone was happily ever after except for Grandma, who died and got eaten by wolf coyotes.
Yeah, and then came back to life for a brief moment.
Yeah.
Oh my God, what the hell? What the fuck? I feel violated. Like having watched this.
This is the greatest bait and switch of all time. That was not a mummy movie. I signed up for a mummy movie, and I'm like, okay, I know it's going to be nothing like the Brendan Fraser movies, but I wanted some of that stuff, like some pyramids or a mummy in the movie.
Yeah.
It especially lost me when it wasn't even just her, but she was possessing the other siblings, where it's like, this is just a demon movie. You just mummy flavored a generic exorcist movie.
Yeah, that was exactly what I was thinking. And everything connected to her had demon possession vibes.
Yeah.
Like the gross spot on the floor, the wall is blackened with the veins and everything. Yeah, all of it. Like little kid possession, making them do vulgar things and be crass. It was a lot of puking, like all of that. It's all demon possession stuff.
Yeah, and even her being like, I can talk now. Like, how about instead of that, she like talks in ancient Egyptian or something?
Yeah.
Like
for sure.
The mummy coding was so thin on this movie. I'm like, why even call it the mummy?
Because she had bandages on, okay?
Someone must really like Lee Cronin to let him call this Lee Cronin's The Mummy. Not only give him like a super like old 100-year-old franchise, but also let him put his name on the front of it.
Yeah. I don't know. It was a lot. I didn't appreciate any of the gross out parts.
So you said before you want to watch like all the Evil Deads. I think you can skip Evil Dead Rise because you've pretty much already seen it.
Great.
My whole issue with it mostly was that it was too much of a regular possession movie and not enough of the stuff that makes Evil Dead. So that on top of like, it's a lot of just super gross out shock value type stuff.
Yeah.
Like he's good at making a film. It's very visceral, but it's like I don't see any point. Like the story isn't compelling, and it's just shock value.
Well, I don't even know if I would say he's good at making a film. I think he's good at certain aspects of filmmaking. Because,
well, I mean,
like I told you before, I don't notice camera work really, unless it's something that stands out. And I have multiple parts in this movie where I was focused on the camera work because it was so jarring. One, there's fisheye lens effects put in random places in the movie. So the room looked distorted and there was no need for it. Like there was a fisheye lens added for no reason, no explanation. Why is this particular shot using fisheye lens? Then there were these long panoramic shots that covered almost like a 230-degree space. Like it didn't make any sense why this long panoramic shot of an interior had to happen. I didn't like it at all, and I didn't like where it was placed. I think it was like right after the funeral where they're sitting on the couch and they pan straight across and it goes all the way around the room, but it's this panoramic shot, so it looks like one long thing.
just not well placed. And then there were several times where there were distance and close-up shots and a character in the distance, like kind of like in Us. Do you remember a bunch of those scenes where it'd have like the doppelganger in the front and then the person in the back, or vice versa? Like those shots where it's like intentionally having one person really close to the camera and the other person at a distance and focusing on both of them.
Like a split diopter shot.
Yes, thank you. Those shots were misplaced and overused. It happened multiple times and it was not well placed, to the point where I was like, why is this shot like this? I don't get what it's trying to show me. I don't get what perspective this is supposed to be focusing on or highlighting. So why is it like this? And then the last thing I wrote down, what a weird shot of the cop falling down the stairs. Did you catch that? There's a part where Zaki gets pushed down the stairs and it shows just her head, like wobbling around until she gets to the bottom of the stairs. So you get this like, I don't know, it felt very like almost like a 90s thing where you have the one character and you see their singular perspective of being like jostled around. But this was her falling down the stairs. So it was really weird. I know I've seen it before and I can't put my finger on where I've seen that thing before, but it wasn't in this context. Like it wasn't in another horror movie and it wasn't in, I don't know, it wasn't in anything like this with this tone. I think it was like a comedy maybe. But yeah, I was really not impressed with some of the camera work and some of the shots that were chosen.
All right. Yeah, it also didn't need to be that long because they didn't really develop the story very much. They didn't develop the characters like at all. So
yeah,
it's kind of just a lot of wasted runtime, especially because, like I said earlier, like the beginning is kind of just depressing. Like nothing scary happens until she's in the crawl space eating scorpions.
Yeah. Yeah. And there was exactly one scary part in the movie, and that's it. Exactly one thing where I was like, okay, that's scary.
What was that?
It was when I believe Charlie goes downstairs to do something, and in the background you see a figure walk behind him, and it's the grandmother's corpse.
No.
But the way it originally is presented is this like ghostly figure in the background. And that was done well. So I was like, that's a creepy shot of grandma just walking around the house. I liked that. And then she's disgusting after that.
Yeah. Yeah, it's a gross movie. Especially that pedicure scene. It reminded me of do you remember Cabin Fever, the leg shaving scene?
Yeah.
God, that was horrible.
Yeah. Yeah, the nail pulling was bad, but I actually think the licking the embalming fluid was worse.
Well, that was just like such a what the fuck moment for me. I'm like, why?
Yeah, it was disgusting.
It's gross, but also just why? Like,
yeah,
again,
why
that's
is she
demon stuff. Demons do things just because it's gross. Do mummies do that? I don't know. I don't think so. I don't think mummies have that kind of sick sense of humor that demons do.
I don't think mummies really have agency, to be honest. I feel like there's if you're going back to like Imhotep, there's a singular purpose.
Imhotep did.
But it's a singular purpose. It's not like I have ulterior motives and it involves, just fucking with people. Imhotep was like, I'm trying to revive the love of my life so we can go live together and I will kill any of you bastards that get in my way.
Yeah.
Like, it was just a very clear motive and you knew exactly what he was trying to do. And he needed the Book of Amun-Ra to do it. And it was just very, I love that movie.
Yeah, it's great.
But yeah, so I don't know. I was just so like, about this. Let's see. What else did I write? Oh, so here's the one thing I had about the end. He looks at the cop and gives her the nod of sacrifice.
Yeah.
What does that mean? What is the plan there? She's unstoppable as a teenage girl. Why do you think you can handle him when it's placed in the body of a grown-ass man? What was the plan there? I'm glad they just didn't show us. They just like, you know what? We're going to magic this to just work out. And boom, he's in a coffin tied up. We won't even show you how it happened. These two ladies, they just put their back into it and pulled him down to the basement.
Yeah.
And just assume he never woke up. It was great. I was like, this doesn't make any fucking sense. Why? I mean, yeah. And also, ripped straight from The Exorcist, by the way.
As most of this movie was.
Yeah, no kidding. Like, I can't save her, so I will just sacrifice myself.
Yep. Yeah, I feel like this is his second audition to get a movie in the Exorcist franchise. Like, someone must have passed him up for that Exorcist Believer movie. And now he made Evil Dead and The Mummy into Exorcist movies.
Yeah. You said I couldn't, but I can.
Yeah.
Interesting. Okay, well, this makes me not want to watch Overtone.
What's the connection to that?
It's just another movie that someone recommended I watch, even though they acknowledged it wasn't very good.
Is it the same person?
And I don't know. No, it has no relation to this, except this is the same. Those are the same circumstances under which I was recommended this movie. Like, not very good, but I still think you should watch it. And so,
yeah, but that one's about podcasters. We should have went with that one instead.
Yeah, that's true.
I didn't know anything about this. I didn't know it was like kind of poorly received. I didn't know it was not a mummy movie. So
I didn't know it was not a mummy movie. I just knew it wasn't related to the Mummy in the slightest. And then even when my friend said it's like The Exorcist crossed with Evil Dead, I sort of didn't even conceptualize that because I was like, yeah, whatever. I don't know what she's talking about. Now I know what she's talking about.
See, I was hoping that this would be like, as Nosferatu is to Nosferatu, this is to the Boris Karloff mummy. Like,
no, okay.
Something like that would have been cool.
Yeah, that would have been cool.
That's not what this is at all.
Yeah. Yeah, this was a bait and switch for sure. This is a demon movie. It should not invoke the essence of anything mummy related. Yeah, I don't know. We're unhappy with this if people can't tell. At least I'm unhappy with this if people can't tell. Do we want to stick with our pouch of destiny, or do we want to just choose the next movie?
Did you have something in mind?
No.
Oh.
I was just wondering after this if we wanted to jump ship for a bit or not. We don't have to.
Well, I know the internet's obsessed with Obsession. Have you seen anything about that?
No. Wait.
I don't know anything about it. I just know the internet seems to be going wild about it. It's in theaters.
Who is it?
I don't know nothing about it. I like to keep myself oblivious. If people say a movie's good, I usually leave it at that until I see it.
Okay. Curry Barker. Obsession. This says it's 2025.
I think that might have been like the film festival release. I think it's in theaters now.
Oh, I did see something about this. Yeah, wow. The director's 26. Okay, I'm down.
All right, you want to do Obsession?
Yeah, why not?
All right. Next week we'll be doing Obsession from apparently 2025.
Yeah. Let's rate this though.
Oh, right. I'll give it a 2.
I'm also giving it a 2. I considered 1.5, but I don't think it's actually that poorly made.
This is the kind of movie where if you like gore and you watch like a dead meat kill count on YouTube where they have all the kills, you'd get a better experience than actually watching the movie.
I guess. But who actually died? Like one person.
Yeah, but if you watch those videos, they go through all the plot, and you also see all the gross stuff.
Okay, yeah, I guess that's not my purview. So I'm glad we're headed towards something that has gotten some positive review. Yeah, okay. Well, Obsession. I'm excited, and we'll see how that goes.
All right. Until next time.
Until next time.
This podcast is licensed under a Creative Commons Attribution Non-Commercial Share-alike 4.0 International License. For additional information and other media content, visit theferalthread.com. Thanks for listening. Until next week.